Welcome everybody to the 20th anniversary celebration for DMC3. I feel very old saying that, but this game rules, so it's cool. My name is, as you probably guessed, DE Cosmic, and I have with me here Waifu and Moeter, who's going to be starting the day off, so let me head over to the proper scene here. What's up, gentlemen? How's it going?
Hello.
What's up? What's up, Waifu? I don't know if Waifu's here or not. Maybe he went to the bathroom or something. Oh, there he goes. What up?
Hello. Hi.
Hey. How's everybody feeling? Pretty good? Pretty good? I guess we're getting ready to get into things, right?
I'm ready to see some blue guy.
Ready to see some blue guy.
It's been a while since I've seen blue guy.
Same here. It's been a hot minute. All right, so Moeter, if you're all ready, I will count you down.
Okay. Just let me mute myself on Discord.
All right, sounds good, man. All right, chat.
Whenever you want.
All right, sounds good. Chat, I'm going to do 3, 2, 1, Devil May Cry, and I need everybody to say Devil May Cry if you feel so inclined when it happens. All right, so in 3, 2, 1, Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry.
Good luck, man. All right, so it has also been a hot minute for me with this run. Do you know what's kind of like gotten optimized further in this run?
I don't know that anything is different. Personally.
You don't know that anything is different? It's just we're just going fast, dude.
Yeah, we're just going fast.
Yeah.
So this is
go for it. Yeah.
The this is Moeter, the world record holder for blue guy, Virgil, DMC3, and it'll be interesting to see. I think record is 55 now.
Yeah, something like that. It's something crazy.
Yeah, vibes-based speedrun. Strictly vibes.
Good way to put it. Yeah, it's awesome. I remember the big turning point for this run really was when everybody stopped like buying the same amount of like Devil Trigger orbs as Dante too, and like I think we started going with what, like 5 purple orbs or something like that. I think it was like 4 or 5.
You don't need all of them because Virgil. The big thing with Virgil is he doesn't have roll guard, so you don't have a big damage output Dante does, but you have way more damage output for literally everything else.
Yeah.
So you don't need it. You don't need roll guard. You also don't need. You start with Devil Trigger, makes Virgil completely busted on top of like 12 other things that make Virgil completely busted. Essentially, Virgil is just completely busted. You got basically an MVC3 lobby, but the entire game.
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
Just destroy everything. Yeah, Virgil, he doesn't have guns, but he has his summon swords, which he can shoot at literally all times.
Moeter has minimized their application.
Pause champ.
Oh, stream has ended.
Okay, that's funny actually. My game just crashed.
Oh, your game just crashed.
You got mission 2 crash on blue guy somehow.
That's sick.
I've never before seen. Like I said, Virgil a little strong. He literally destroyed the game. He just dive kicked the game and it broke clean in half.
All right, I guess we're gonna start over then, unless you have a save from mission 2. But we can start over. That's
just
fine.
start over.
Yeah, we can
like
start over.
minute.
It's 2 minutes, bro. Who cares? Oh,
game just crashed. What the fuck?
That
never happens as well.
That's never happened before.
I mean, it already happened before, but like at 3 hours into the game, not like 2 minutes.
The wrong world record live here on DMC Speedruns.
Okay.
Game crash, ban hit. That's what happened. All right, everybody can see it again. All right.
Yep.
And 3, 2, 1. Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry.
Yeah. So Virgil so strong he literally crashed the game. Blue guy is actually busted. Virgil starts with 3 different weapons, with the Yamato, Beowulf, and Force Edge and Yamato at the same time. And he also starts with Devil Trigger and his Summon Swords. the biggest thing about Virgil speedruns is that those summon swords can be done at any time. During literally any animation, you could be shooting the summon swords. So
Yeah.
I believe that Mo is going to be using a macro
Yeah.
to match the summon swords automatically for him, so his hands don't fall off in the middle of the speed run.
I still remember the day that you were like, you know what? I'm gonna get sub hour today. I'm gonna stream for 12 hours, and you weren't using a macro at all. How
Yeah.
you still had like a wrist after that? I'm not even sure.
I
But-
legit was like, yep, I'm never playing Virgil again because my hands are actually gonna fall off. I had a shoot bound to left bumper, and so I just
That's what
spam
I
left
did
bumper
too, yeah.
and all day, just hammering down on that left bumper. But yeah, now we allow to use a macro, so you don't have to worry about your hands literally falling off while running Virgil, which is nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I remember, because the thing too is that like, it's not as if the max firing speed for summon swords is even all that hard to hit. It's just the consistency of like having to just constantly do it too.
Yeah, and
So-
you're doing that like while jump canceling, while doing all this other stuff with your other hands and whatnot. You see that he's shooting it all the time, just holding down that macro, but this is an unupgraded summon swords. So he's gonna get 2 more upgrades later that make it shoot even faster. And that's just like consistent DPS all the time. So he's gonna be holding lock on and trying to deal that extra damage with the summon swords as much as possible. You're also gonna see here he's doing some jump cancels. You start with Beowulf, and dive kick with Beowulf, as we know from the Dante speedrun, is completely busted. I think
Yeah.
it does even more damage as Virgil.
It does, yeah,
So-
especially because we get Starfall 2 later, I think, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's gonna
so
be... Ooh, I
Virgil,
love that movement there. That was great.
that's really cool. Yeah, Virgil doesn't have roll guards, so there's gonna be no animation canceling. So like Stinger movement's actually pretty slow. So you're gonna see a combination of Stinger into like jump and then Shriek up and then dive kick for movement there. Ooh, the JCs
That
to get
was
the multiple enemies
sick,
together.
dude.
That's sick.
Good high time.
Yeah, Virgil is way like DMC3 is an already really actions per minute heavy speedrun. Virgil is like twice as APM heavy as Dante,
Yeah, it's
which
like,
is actually crazy.
yeah, like the thing with him too, right, is that there's not as high of a skill ceiling in terms of like raw mechanical stuff like Royal Guard. So when there was a lot of optimization being done, especially like when you were running, right, it's like the margin for error just became so small because of how many actions per minute there are and like how consistently you just have to keep it up. Like,
Yeah, it makes you really good at jump canceling. I got
It's
like
true.
super good at Beowulf jump cancel because that's like what you do for almost every enemy in the game.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you have such low time to kill that you actually can like completely clear waves before enemies start spawning and stuff. So the combat can be way more scripted than Dante because you kill the enemies so fast that it doesn't even matter. And that's like, we haven't even really talked about using Devil Trigger as well. You're gonna see a lot less Devil Trigger explosion as Virgil, a lot less like instant wave clears by like using a lot of Devil Trigger at once. But you'll see it like here, just completely wailing on Cerberus, just getting those like bursts of damage so that you can hit extra boss cycles or kill important enemies ASAP.
yeah, especially because like since he has it from the beginning of the game, like Devil Trigger Explosion is not something that Dante has. Like Devil Trigger is not something that Dante has access to until like mission 8. So like a lot of these weaker enemies that you'll see in the beginning of the game, you don't even really need Devil Trigger Explosion for them anyway. So and then Virgil just gets like a huge DPS increase from like more like faster summon swords. His Yamato does crazy damage anyway. So it's like I think it's just relatively speaking, DTE is such like a niche thing for him by comparison, just because of
Yeah, you pretty much don't even use it, like maybe once or twice. But and the other thing is too, jump canceling builds a lot of Devil Trigger, and so you just get it back so fast that like you just especially the summon swords. So you see now he's bought summon swords level 2 and 3, and those things are just going absolutely ham mode. Like he doesn't even get over to the enemy before it dies to the summon sword.
And then he was like had to go back over. He had to like redirect middle of the room and go to the door, and it's like, oh, well, shoot.
Yeah, Virgil honestly is so hard to commentate and run for because so much stuff happens so fast. Like he's already it's 5 minutes in, but he's already like in the middle of mission 4,
You remember the
You
DDT
just-
run where you'd like enter
Yeah.
a room, and then Vash and I would go, okay, so this is this boss. Okay, now
And
they're
then the
dead.
boss dead. Yeah,
Like-
it's just instantly dead. It's crazy. Virgil's just broken, dude. I don't know, like.
What's insane to me too is that Dante has a skip on this level that saves him 2 minutes, and Virgil is still faster.
Yeah, that's crazy, actually. And it's funny to see, like, this is something that's pretty new, I think. We didn't do this when I ran Blue Guy. He mostly uses DT for movement.
Yeah,
Like,
I noticed that.
because Virgil's movement is not that fast because the stinger recovery is slow. So it's actually faster to just save your DT for when you have to run. Because the combat isn't actually made that much faster by using DT. It's like, when an enemy dies in 2 dive kicks, it's like,
yeah, who
they
cares?
probably already die in 2 dive kicks, whether you're in DT or not, right? So
yeah.
it
Plus,
doesn't
like
even
you were
make it any
saying-
faster.
Plus, like you were saying with the jump cancels, you're gonna get the DT back anyway in the fight. So you
Yeah.
might as well just move with it. I think it's sort of that natural evolution of like the DT movement management that we see in DMC1, where some of the combat options some of the options outside of that for movement are a little slow. So, like especially in the early game. So why not just use it?
So we see the Gigapede boss fight, which hopefully we won't see again today. Well, we'll see it once,
True.
maybe on 18.
Well, cake, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. True.
Yeah,
See
you gotta
twice.
fight. Yeah, you gotta fight Gigapede backwards and cake.
backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun to see.
That'll be
Hopefully
dope,
we'll see
yeah.
that.
Hopefully, yeah. I will allow Zeers to reset the room with Style
Yeah,
Switcher
do it.
if he wants to.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Blood Goyles stand no chance.
Not at all.
Yeah, the Summon Swords just absolutely eviscerate them. Huge upside to Virgil runs. There's way less RNG because you kill all the enemies so fast, and especially the ones that are like super random. Ooh, nice jump cancels.
There, yeah, right
There's
with Blood Goyle.
nothing. There's nothing they can do. These Blood Goyles can't do anything. They're getting cyberbullied, like lunch money stolen.
I think that's just regular bullying. That's targeted bullying. Oh my gosh.
Here's some epic
Oh.
GCs.
Zero
cycle.
Almost a zero. Okay, 0.5. We'll call that a 0.5.
That's a boss fight. It doesn't look like it, but
It is.
it is a boss fight.
Doc said, "Can't be random when you're dead."
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what just happened on Jester there. He almost had such good jump cancels that he killed the boss before it even was able to do one of its random attacks. So like, yeah, you can't be random if you're dead. Exactly.
That was,
that
a
a sick.
sick. Oh my gosh, dude. Dude, some of the
I don't
movement
think
in
that
this
he's even bot
category-
Stinger.
Yeah. Oh my god. I don't think so either.
I like the use of so Virgil doesn't have styles, but he has one style. He has a Dark Slayer, which is his little version of Trickster. It's got some teleport moves. I see he's like using the teleport and then switching targets and then teleporting again to move through the hallways really fast. It's cool. I never did that when I ran this category.
I always thought it was going to end up being slower because of the landing lag, but I guess not. So,
Yeah, maybe he cancels the animation somehow or something. I don't know. It's cool.
yeah, pretty dope. And then the enemies didn't even spawn in yet. They were dropping in.
Yeah, he's waiting for him.
Virgil's just
The spawn
pulling out.
camp.
Yeah, the spawn camp. Incredible. Nice double there to get to the door faster.
Yeah, and you said like Virgil's OP style. It's honestly not even that useful. Like, but you don't even need styles at all because Virgil just does so much damage. It's kind of crazy. Like,
Yep.
he's so busted.
Yep.
I wonder if the developers had any idea how absolutely busted Virgil was,
Well, I
or
feel
like
like
if they're just
they
like
had
built some
to.
cool shit.
They had to have like realized it, but to some extent, like this game is still built with some of the DMC1 philosophy in mind, where like enemies are built to be like handled certain ways, right? And like a lot of the game is based around efficiency still, but it's got like still more of that like fighting game mentality to it as well. So like Itsuno, I feel like in directing, he was probably he came in with like this mixed philosophy on it, where it's like we've got enemies like the Dullahans or the chess pieces that are meant to like be dealt with a certain way, but then also you have freedom of expression. Plus now he's a boss
Like the
character.
pride enemies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, true.
So it's like the the I guess colliding, not conflicting ideologies there, but the colliding ideologies probably led to this character. And I mean DMC in general is just such a
strong Virgil.
Yep.
You usually have like just really strong characters in Devil May Cry in general, but I think they were trying to make something a little bit stronger for Virgil. They definitely succeeded. Yeah. This is Agni Rudra. The hardest boss is Virgil. Because it's really hard. The normal strategy as Dante would be to like parry the swords so that you can get this reflect. But doing so as Virgil is actually a lot harder because it's kind of jank to get the sword parries with your moveset here. You saw that he used the jump slashes with the Yamato to do it initially, and then he was doing that Morning Star, the spin to win move, the Sonic the Hedgehog.
The lunar phase. The Sonic the
lunar
Hedgehog.
phase. There's the Sonic the Hedgehog blue guy move. And that one is like really inconsistent whether it reflects or not. And also you'll get hit out of it. So often you wait until you have double trigger to be able to do that. So here we got Starfall 2. So if you thought the dive kick was broken before, it's way stronger now. And we're gonna see that movement I was talking about earlier, where he does a Stinger. He bought Stinger 2 and dive kick level 2, and also he upgraded his style by killing Agni and Rudra. So that means that he can do a vertical teleport now. Ooh. Wow, this spike RNG is complete dog shit.
I was gonna say this is like the worst spike RNG for Virgil, but probably the best if you're Dante, because if you had like level 2 royal guard here, if you like didn't do Giga Zip, then you could just air guard through everything, or air release.
Yeah, but as Virgil, so you'll see that optimal movement being Stinger, jump, teleport, dive kick, because the dive kick's really fast, and you get so much height that you can clear a big amount of space. It's not as fast as like Dante's movement, but since you don't have the ability to cancel your Stinger animation, this is the best you got. It's still pretty solid though. I think that when you do have enemies in the room, he's going to be opting to Devil Trigger run instead.
Yeah, probably. Oh, almost. That'd have been tight. Alright, we're almost out of the filler mission. Fortunately, Virgil's filler arcs are quite small.
All of his arcs are small. Dude's got no character development in the whole game or speedrun.
Don't worry, we'll get another 13 threads on Reddit about who Nero's mom is, you know?
That's what we need for the 20th anniversary. A 20th thread about who's Nero's mom.
And then here
we're going to the chess room.
Thing. Yep, we're just going to pick up the Orcolon fragment. Orcolon fragment.
Virgil does not play chess. He's more of a checkers guy. So he just one size fits all solution here.
Well, he plays chess and then he eats the other guy's pieces.
Yeah, he's like, thanks. Thanks for that. But I don't play by your rules. He's going to pick up a holy water. We don't use as many of those in Virgil, but I think we still save most of them for Arkham.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, just because, like, the thing is, too, with the Holy Waters on Virgil is that, again, it's a utility thing where the amount of DPS that this character does, if you use a Holy Water, you probably could have dealt that amount of damage anyway.
Yeah.
During the time it took the menu.
Because you'll look at these greens, these are some of the tankier enemies in the game, and it's like, what, 3 dive kicks?
Yep.
It's insane. And that's not even with DT. Oftentimes, really high-level Dante players will be the only people that can get through like these greed rooms without any extra spawns. You could be like brand new to Virgil, and you'll probably get no spawns. Like,
yeah,
you do such a crazy amount of damage.
Yeah, that was a weird like stinger jump off of the edge there with the starfall.
Got stuck on the railing.
I was like, what the hell?
You'll see if he's not doing a dive kick jump cancel, then you'll see a switch cancel combo where he does like 2 kicks with Beowulf and then switches to Force Edge and then just 2 hits and then switches back to Beowulf. That's because Virgil can actually switch his weapons in both directions since he has 3 and he doesn't have guns. And so actually a lot of Virgil's tech is like figuring out which rotation of weapons you need to do and then rotating the opposite direction to get those back. You'll see stuff like it'd be faster to do like punch with Beowulf, punch with Beowulf, switch to Force Edge, sword, sword, high time, and then maybe like a jump cancel with Yamato. There's also special taunts that you can only do with Yamato that give you like increased double trigger from the taunt. And so like it's really important to know which weapons you are in the rotation. Try to focus on that. Or you just kill everything. That works too.
Alright. Awesome. So now, I think this is just the last greed room, and then we get to fight Reaper again for the second time when it becomes a normal enemy.
Mini boss.
Yeah.
Mini boss into normal enemy. And then we'll get to fight Red Guy. Not Dante though.
Not Dante.
This is the DMC5. We fight Vante instead.
I remember when people were
Virgil.
speculating that like in DMC5 we were gonna fight Vante again, and I was like, I don't know about all that shit.
That would have been so funny. I wouldn't put it past him, but I'm glad that it's not the case.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that there could have been like a Nero fight there, but you know, things happen. Budget.
That would have been
happens,
cool.
So this is also a difference here between Dante and Virgil, is that Dante is going to wait until he gets Beowulf much later in the game to break open his crystal. Virgil doesn't care. He's just
Yeah, you get more
here.
orbs the higher your DPS is, and obviously Virgil's DPS is completely fucking busted, so it doesn't really matter when you get the orb ores.
Yep.
So Virgil has a stun mechanic where the amount of times you hit him affects how many times you're allowed to hit him. Like you only hit him like 13 times.
Yep.
Before he auto parries you and just lets you not attack anymore, which is actually really rough for Virgil because his DPS is highly tied to like lots of actions. So you're gonna see Mo not doing any summon swords here because those summon swords were added to that hit counter, and he doesn't want to reach that hit counter early. He wants to do the maximum amount of damage per hit. So this is like very much like a Dante fight.
Yeah,
You can see why it would give you a lot of JC practice.
Yeah, this
playing
is
Virgil.
This is one of the few rooms in the game where you're just not going to see any summon swords at all out of Virgil.
Really good JCs.
Yep.
You can get going really, really fast with your JCs as Virgil, especially in DT. Because in DT and DMC3, you mostly actually, you get a little bit of damage increase, but the biggest thing is you get just animation speed increase. And so like, that means that while DTing for jump cancels does make you do more damage, it makes you do more damage if you can hit all the jump cancels. And the animation speed is increased quite a bit. So you're really cranking out the inputs there. Oh god, this jump sucks as Virgil.
Oh yeah, it's
Nice.
terrible.
That was good.
Because he doesn't have guns to help him out. Oh, they skipped the Orbor here. Cool.
Yeah, I'm not super surprised. You don't really need that much. You buy way more abilities as Virgil, which is cool because in Dante run you only ever buy Stinger.
Yeah.
But as Virgil, you got Dive Kick level 2, and also the Summon Sword upgrades, and Stinger 1 and 2. So that means that you don't really have as much money for stuff like Purple Orbs or Holy Waters, but you don't need them. So no worries.
This is also one of the rooms in this game that's, I think, is technically slower with Virgil because you can't free ride the enemy here.
This has got to make up for some of it though. That
Yeah,
the
that's true,
teleports.
the
So
trick,
I did not do that in my old records.
Nope, I didn't do that in my runs either. We just kind of walked through. We were like, this is good enough.
Just walking. Yeah, I'm walking here.
I'm walking here. Virgil is walking.
So this is the room that no one knows how it works. It seems like the retina in the center like sucks in orbs, and so the more orbs you give it, the faster it opens. But it seems incredibly inconsistent as to what actually caused that to happen.
I think it's just like if you have a higher style rank when you kill an enemy, then they just drop more orbs. So
Yeah, but you could like have a high style rank and kill the same amount of enemies and not get it to open sometimes. It's really weird. That's why in Dante there's like a really scripted fight that you can do to make it so that it always works every time. And then if you do that fight even at all differently, it just doesn't work. But I think as Virgil, you literally just kill everything super fast, and the game is like triple S.
cool.
And yeah, so it's like, okay, you're fine. Ooh,
Nice.
that was sick.
That was good. Yeah, this is like very similar to some of like, again, the DMC1 routing, where a lot of the major time save you're going to see in this run after a point, right, is just going to be all the movement optimization that happens. Because, again, we talk about like this character does so much damage that eventually you're just going to land all the strats. And now you got to figure out, okay, where did I lose time on movement? That's going to be the big one.
Yeah, it actually does come down to movement in a lot of ways, because you kill the enemies so fast that it becomes like kind of scripted at a high level. You're like, I'm just gonna kill all these enemies at the same time every run.
Yeah, this is pretty similar across like pretty much all Virgil runs too. Is like in 4, right? A lot of the time save is done with like skips and just overall movement through the levels, as well as managing concentration, obviously. And then 5, it's pretty much mostly movement. And Reboot is the same, because the Reboot run has like pretty much all the combat routed out of it at this point. So. Except maybe like 1 or 2 fights. Pretty consistent thing for the character. Just kind of a test.
This taunt right here is the Yamato taunt that I was talking about, where like he just stands there, and it's a really long taunt. But if the longer you stand there, the more DT it builds. It's not like any other taunt in the series, I think. Like you could maybe 5 or 4 has a taunt like that, but
5's book taunt. He like pulls out the book and then he starts building a bunch of DT that way.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I forgot about V.
Shall I entrust it to him? And then built a bunch of people.
This is just out here. This is the long distance, long term relationship taunt. It's like a 20-second taunt. It builds like the whole DT meter. Yeah, the longer you hold that taunt, the more DT it builds you. And you can taunt dead bodies in DMC3. So you can just like start the taunt and then sit next to it while the other enemies spawn in, which is what he was doing there for the spiders. And if you thought that maybe the spiders would have a different way of defeating them, because the spiders are really hard to jump cancel as Dante, not the case as Virgil. No. I think it's because his starfall has like a sharper vertical angle, actually.
So, probably also
and so like
has a bigger hitbox, right?
Yeah, true. And so you're just like landing right on top of him, and it makes the jump cancel really easy. And then again, it dies in like 3 hits, so you don't really even need to hit that many jump cancels.
Nope.
The Dear Diary taunt.
Dear Diary, Mom said to go to my room, so I starfalled the door.
This just was out of there instantly. Yeah, you see, like he gets like this dark aura around him. That's him just building up extra DT. Dante doesn't have any taunts like that in this game. Dante's DT management's much more about like using rail guard to build DT.
Yeah, especially
and
like
waiting for enemies to give you opportunities. That's like a lot about Dante's combat, is like taking advantage of the scripted parts of the combat to have the enemies give you opportunities and then capitalize on them. Virgil does not wait for anything. He's like, I'm here, spawn under my foot, and then despawn under my foot.
Yeah, it's very like it's a lot. You have to be a lot more proactive in what you're doing with Virgil. Like Dante, I feel is like, obviously there's some proaction to it, but there's also a lot of just reaction. Because I mean, there's some like royal releases that you can do in fights that are like adaptive as well. But
yeah,
Virgil
and a lot of the high level Dante like rooms come down to like, oh, this thing that happened that I wasn't expecting. Like, do I hit this release that like isn't scripted, and then how do I play off that? Yep. Whereas Virgil is very much like, this enemy spawns here, I need to kill him in this time so that the next enemy spawns, and then like everything is super scripted.
Yep. A little bit unfortunate like hitbox there on the Starfall for Nevin, but
this is one of the harder bosses in Virgil, I think, because the JC hitbox is really small for Nevin. So hitting those consistent dive kick JCs is very difficult. And you don't really have that many tools that are like super good for building or breaking down her shield. I say as he breaks her shield in 1 hit, but like, except for Lunar Phase, I suppose. You know, if she builds her shield back up, there isn't a whole lot you can do, especially if she starts moving, because the dive kick will track to where she was, not where she is. And then you'll end up missing, and it could be a bit of a meme. Still clean, was that 2 cycle, I think?
Yeah, it was 3 cycles, but I mean, whatever.
Still gaming.
He's still gaming, yeah. He's, that was
still should easily be a sub 1 hour.
Yeah, it was a sub 25 Nevin, so we chilling. Here though, we get to do everybody's favorite mission. Good old
M10.
delivery boy status.
Virgil must deliver.
Virgil must deliver.
Has Virgil always been faster than Dante? I'm trying to think about it because like I don't think it was before we started running
Well,
it. Like
yeah, so like I think
4 or
that
5
I
years
was
ago.
I think I was the no, because I thought that White Lion made it faster, and then I continued to make it faster, and then you got sub-hour. And at that time,
That's right.
At that time, Dante was still in the 103s, I believe.
Yeah. And so, but then no one really ran it for a while. Was there a moment? I feel like there might have been a moment where Dante was faster again, just because no one had ran Virgil.
Yeah, and maybe it was when Gigazip was discovered or something.
Yeah, I think
it might have been when you got sub-hour for Dante.
Yeah, that would have made sense because I don't think anyone. Dizzy did some Virgil for a bit.
Yep.
And we were fighting for it for a second there.
I'd have to check the
Gigazip got found. Yeah, I don't know.
I had to check the tapes because there was a point where Dizzy got like a 57, and I think you got also a 57, or maybe Dizzy got a 56. Not sure.
Yeah, then I think no one ran a blue guy for a long time after that.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty tough in fairness. You know,
yeah, true.
Especially because it's like
back then,
there's
no macro.
Nope, no macro. It's tough. I mean, even with the macro, you know, there's only a difference of like a minute, right, between some of the non-macro times and a macro time.
Yeah.
No new strats really, and just optimization, man.
Yeah, I don't even really think that there is a lot of new strats. I'm curious to see. I was wondering about this. Since I last read Virgil, we found this like wave despawns. It's like a completely new tech that like didn't exist.
Oh yeah.
We ran Virgil, but Virgil does so much DPS. I'm not sure that it even would save time.
I'm not sure
to skip a wave because you'd have to set it up. So I'm curious to see if we'll see any of that from Bo, if that's even faster as Virgil to skip enemy waves. And we'll see that on this mission and also the next mission if it do be a thing. I'm not sure.
It never gets old, guys, kicking these dudes. I hate these enemies, bro.
Everyone does.
The old vape cloud, dog.
The vape cloud enemy. Yeah, this is a good example of how useful it is to be able to switch back and forth, because otherwise you'd have to do some DMC4 tech shit where you like switch twice between your switch cancels. So much harder. Like super difficult to do that. This is nice that Virgil lets you switch both directions. I actually had my directions switched like in reverse. Actually, like
really?
I switched my left and right swapping to be like the other side of the controller because I found that it was easier. I also ended up finding like, oh god, I think I bound like DT to like square or something, like some weird thing like that.
Yeah, it was square. I think because or maybe you might have actually bound it to like left trigger or something like that.
Oh, I know what it was. It was my left directional switch was on right trigger, and my right directional switch was on square.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what it was. Because I wanted to charge double trigger explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So double trigger on left trigger, and then left bumper for macro. Or well, I didn't use a macro at the time, but yeah, for summon swords. You get some really jank binds. Because there's just like so many inputs that you have to be doing at all times. This is where keyboard players would reign supreme. I think actually you probably, if there was ever a DMC3 category that you could play really well on keyboard, it'd probably be Virgil. Because the big problem with keyboard on DMC3 is that you can't get precise look angles, and that really messes with your ability to do royal guard. But Virgil doesn't have royal guard, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, it's like maybe this category or like heaven or hell, because I think that in heaven or hell they just use trickster, and there's some really cool stuff you can do on keyboard with trickster or something.
Yeah. So here's the boss we were referencing earlier. It's Beowulf. I think there is a new cycle on this boss actually. We'll see if we can get it from Mo. You can get that same quick kill that you can get as Dante, but just by having purely good JCs. So we'll see if Mo can get it. No,
Nice.
but good recovery using the iframes from the teleport.
Yeah, it was really
to
good.
not get hit is sick.
Yeah, I think Overkill Syndrome was asking earlier in chat if jumping away is the only way you can avoid damage with Virgil. And technically, I guess, because Trick is a jump, but...
Yeah, it has iframes though.
Yeah,
so
but it
you
has
can
iframes.
just teleport through stuff.
Yeah, it displaces him for quite a while, which is kind of nuts. Ooh, nice.
So just in case you didn't think Blue Guy was strong enough, this level gives you unlimited Devil Trigger for the whole thing. So...
Yeah, in case you wanted to see Virgil just unchained.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see the despawn. Yeah, because the enemies all die before they even spawn, so it's like...
Yeah, okay. That's how you know a character is good, when a trick to fight less enemies is found, and it's slower for them. It's slower for them. White Orb Troll on Mission 12, dude. The classic.
The classic, yeah. You always get White Orb drop on 12. Actually dumb, because you have a limited DT.
I have no idea why it does that either.
I think it's because, ooh, nice. That's a Virgil exclusive trick there. So what happened was he killed the enemies so fast that the game was like, oh, it's over, and just ended, even though the last enemy was still had to spawn.
Oh,
because
nice.
there's a brief moment where the everyone was dead except for the final enemy, and so the check ran to be like, oh, we killed everything, because he killed everything else so fast. So you just skip that last enemy. Huge time save. He's like one dive kick. Crazy.
Hey,
But...
I mean, it's a second to take those. Rage, if spamming summon swords was the reason you didn't play this character, then now you can.
We got
There's a macro
now. Yeah.
Macro.
Just go burr.
Burr.
I honestly think even if there were skips as Virgil, it probably wouldn't even be faster to do them. Like, you just destroy everything. Look at this Vanguards. It's gonna get bullied.
I mean, the thing too, right, is that skips in this game are limited to a degree because you can only skip really like per room, as far as we know anyway, because that's all that's, again, as far as we know, loaded in. It's
Good
different
Lord.
with a game like, gosh damn. It's different with a game like DMC4 or DMC5 and Reboot as well, where like more of the level is loaded in, but 1 to 3, you're really just, you're tied to those rooms until you exit.
Yeah. All right, the horse. It's time. Oh! I picked a little early. You saw Virgil get hit. It can happen. Oh no!
It happened twice. Lightning does strike twice, in fact. Whoop.
This is one of the harder fights as Virgil as well, because like a lot of the stuff that's a surefire way to counter bosses in Dante just don't work as Virgil. And so you have like a lot more inconsistent setups for things.
Yeah.
Like Agni and Rudra, or also this fight. God, look at the size of the hitbox on that Yamato area slash. It is so big.
That is crazy, dude. Alright, I think now he's gonna go back in.
Nice thing is, there are multiple ways to stop the horse from running. One is to like hit it in the face with a downward attack, like a helm breaker or a dive kick. The other is to just do so much damage that the game just like gives up.
Oh, he got
And
trolled.
ooh, nice teleport.
Yes, summon swords again. Nice.
But yeah, obviously Blue Guy's response is just do enough damage that it doesn't get to play the game.
Honestly,
Easy clap.
honestly, a fair response. I have to give it up.
Rare DT explosion.
Very rare. This has got to be one of my favorite missions in the whole game, dude. Both at like casually and as a speed run, it's so fun. Like
That's gonna be a good explosion. Yeah, that was sick.
Does he get the orbs up here? No. Okay, I didn't think so. That's gonna be on the test chat. Do you get the orbs at the top of mission 13? That one archway.
It's like 3,000 or something. That's a
Somewhere.
lot.
It's pretty substantial.
If you don't get
yeah.
it, you don't S rank. And Dante. Even if you play really well.
That's kind of nuts. He is a madman for dive kicking that one.
Yeah, the
For
auto
dive
lock, I
kicking
can
that
really
one.
trigger you there.
I don't trust the lock on in these puzzle rooms, dude. Can you believe
We're gonna see another Virgil fight.
It is 35 minutes in and we are on mission 13.
Yeah, that's so fast.
That's crazy.
Actually wild. So we see another Virgil fight, or Vante, as he's
Vante.
called. Red
This
Virgil.
is Red Virgil. This is the one where he's got like mix-ups and stuff. And normally these mix-ups would be something crazy, you know, having to deal with him with Royal Guard. But here we just kind of walk him back.
Yeah, just stand just outside of his range and then Goomba stomp him to oblivion.
Yep.
No phase skip though. Virgil doesn't have
Unfortunately.
really a way to skip this, I don't think, unless you do setup. That's probably actually just slower.
Yeah.
Oh wait, he got it. Wait, what?
Yeah, I was gonna say he does
Good
enough
lord.
damage. Like,
Good
he's
God,
dead.
never mind. I take it back.
oh
Never
my
mind.
god, dude.
You just don't need to set anything up special. You just had to just stomp him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, well,
It's just
never mind.
what he does,
Take it back.
bro. Yep. Huh. And we go past the blue orb. And then we move on to mission 14. I think he can do this stinger jump here, can he?
Yep. Yeah, you don't have to go pick up Beowulf as Virgil because you already have Beowulf, so you can just like leave, which is
Yep.
nice.
Yeah, very streamlined category in that regard. Now I get to fight the duel of hands again.
Is it really fighting? This feels like bullying.
Yeah, a little bit. These enemies are like so non-existent in the run for like both characters. Until they do this, where they just back up.
Yeah, and you don't have a good counter for that
No,
as
no,
Virgil.
no. It's like
As
maybe if
Dante, you would
had-
like jump guard, but
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe if you had like, I don't know, Rapid Slash or something. I don't know. But who's gonna buy Rapid
Maybe.
Slash?
People used to buy spiral swords
I remember that.
for Arkham, but I don't know why you'd ever stop spamming shoot on summon swords. That seems like a huge waste of DPS.
I think it, like, when the run was first getting routed, people just assumed that Summon Swords was going to be more damage, but I think one of the first things that I actually routed out of this category was Spiral Swords, because I just stopped buying it, and I was like, we're just not going to buy this, we're just going to get some shit early, going to get, like,
Lose
less
no time.
purple orbs, lose no time, and just spam Summon Swords the whole time. Forget about it.
I think it was more of a they didn't want to spam summon swords because it hurt their hands.
Probably.
So they're like trying to find an excuse to do something else.
I mean, I can't really blame them, but also, like, less damage. I mean, to be fair, if you spam the Summon Swords, then technically you have to do it less because the run takes less time.
True,
So,
actually.
You know,
Real.
right?
That's true. That's 100% true. Can't be argued. Did Virgil just say that's wrong? No, he said what's wrong. I thought he was debating you.
I thought he said that's raw, and I was like, that's true. It
He
is
said that's raw. That's real.
Yeah. He is Gordon Ramsay.
He's cooking for sure. This is the hardest combat encounter in the Dante run, I'd say. And as Virgil, it's over in an instant. Do see some VTE usage
Maybe
here
that's
though.
why Kyrie's mom didn't want a second date.
It's over in an instant. They're left with some quarter demon child
Well,
and no child support.
nothing. The Geese Howard of Devil May Cry. I thought he was about to walk into that blue orb fragment, but then he proved me
I did
wrong.
too. This is not cake.
There's-
I think Mo did a Virgil cake run, right? I think he said he did.
I thought he did, but maybe he didn't submit it. Or maybe I
There's
just forgot
there's
to
nowhere
add
to
it to the
submit it.
boards.
Yeah,
I
there's
thought-
no Virgil cake on the extension board.
Yeah, I
just
got to put
Dante.
it up there. Feel like whatever. It's a thing now. I'll have to take a look and see if he posted it. Then I'll just add it to the boards if true.
I'd be curious to see it because I have no idea how you do secret missions as Virgil.
Yeah, some of them I'm not really sure because of like the flight one where you use like Nevin. Like how are you
I
supposed
think
to
you
do
can
that shit?
you can DT glide with Yamato. I think. I could be
Okay.
wrong.
I don't remember anything like that. So. I mean, that would
Yeah,
be like something new that I
Fallen's-
learned about this game after 20 years.
That'd be
You
sick.
shall die.
Fallen not getting to play the game. One of the
I mean,
most
we love
annoying
to
enemies in
see
the
this.
game, but yeah. Again, one of the harder combat encounters in Dante. Virgil's just like nah. Like that second Fallen spawn is actually scripted. So using a holy water there is pretty slow because you have to wait for the second one to spawn. But he literally can just stand there. He can just like show up and know where it's gonna be because he killed the other guy so fast.
Yep. Pretty dope. Oh, Chris is saying the orbs are placed at different locations. So
That's nice.
once again, Capcom proving why they are some of the best to ever do it, and just adapting the secret missions for the other character.
Huge.
You love to
But
see it.
no unique boss fights though. You
Yeah,
just
I
fight
mean-
Red Virgil.
Well, I mean, to be fair, designing a boss fight's a lot different than placing some orbs in different locations.
It's basically the same thing.
Just be like, adapt, Virgil players, adapt.
Here we are on mission 15, everyone's favorite level.
Oh yeah, this is definitely where no run ever goes to die.
Yep.
Not at all. You can't even. I guess you could still do the death warp here, right? It's just
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you still do.
okay. Yeah, I thought so. I don't know if maybe like DT movement just made up for it, but
Maybe
it's
you
not.
do have a triple jump as Virgil, so like it's much easier to make it up on the platform on the way back.
He definitely does the wheels a little bit slower though. At least this wheel he does slower because Dante can just do, as you know, like just strike release. As long
Yeah.
as you have the full release stock. Or a Colin fragment. This is actually, I think, one of the cooler levels tech-wise because, I mean, we talk a lot about like how some of the coolest parts of speedruns are the stuff that's not happening, and like in this is like one of the, I guess, one of the only skips in the game that we don't even really consider a skip because of how long we've been doing it, where you just don't have to do the last fight against the spiders on this mission.
Yeah, there's like a big spider, like a queen spider and a couple of baby spiders that you normally would have to fight on this mission, but by doing these dials in a specific order, you just completely circumvent that room.
Yeah.
But like it's so easy to do that it's like we don't even really consider it a skip. Yeah. It's just routing, right? Like just don't go in that room and you won't have to fight those enemies.
Yep, exactly. Woohoo!
Oh, that
What
was
the
crazy.
heck? That was awesome.
That was sick. I thought he was about to get blasted by these blades.
Same.
But definitely setting up for a death warp here.
Oh yeah.
The most common question I get about DMC3 is what is yellow and gold orb mode? And like really in the speedrun nothing. It doesn't matter except for this.
Except for this, yeah.
This is like the only spot where it matters.
Which,
Gold
funny
orb
enough,
being yeah, go for it.
yellow orb only existed on the original release in North America.
Really?
Because like in the Japanese original release, you can do this death warp. Like
Really?
gold orbs just work the same way. Yeah.
So they just made the game. That's another way they made the game harder.
Yes, yeah, they made it similar to like DMC 1, where if you didn't have the
didn't know
yellow
that.
orbs, then you could. Yeah, I didn't know it either. I didn't think it was
I
gonna work
blame
when I did the.
Blockbuster.
Yeah, same. I blame rental stores. Yeah. Although Blockbuster was cool, but you know, maybe I'll go to the last Blockbuster in Oregon.
Try to rent DMC3.
That'd be great.
Yeah, so gold orb, basically, gold mode makes it so that when you die, you respawn from a checkpoint automatically, like we did there, and we use that so that we could teleport back and skip doing all of the movement and climbing back up in that room, because the climb back up is really difficult, and also it's really hard to have fast movement there. It's just faster to death warp. And in yellow mode, if you die, then you have to restart the whole mission over again. Unless you have a yellow orb, which allows you to restart at a checkpoint, like the gold orb mode does if you don't have a gold orb. And then gold orbs allow you to respawn instantly, like right where you died. So, useful.
Pretty crazy. Did they do holy water here? Okay, this answers my question.
I'm surprised. I feel like this wouldn't actually save very much time here. Because in Dante, it only saves 15 seconds. And you probably do the combat like twice as fast as Dante.
Yeah.
So,
That is a little
I
strange.
bet you could just not do that.
Yo, rerouting. Incoming.
Well, I mean, I think you'll see it from Stubby. I think he's gonna do.
Well, he's gonna do that, I think, right? The holy water
no orb wars.
there. Oh.
Like, and doppelganger shots on 19 instead.
Oh hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
But I was thinking about that. I'm like, I'm surprised that Virgil doesn't just do no orb wars, because he does so much damage.
Yeah.
And I think you could potentially skip that holy water there, maybe.
There's only 2 orb wars that we get in the whole thing, right? The whole run?
I think that in Mo's run he only got one. He got the one on 7.
He got the one on 3 as well, because you get it so that you can get so you can get summon swords level 3 earlier.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that's I forget about that because summon swords level 3 is really expensive. It's like
15,000.
15,000. Yeah.
That's as much as an air hike almost.
Yeah. I could see you getting away with just that one though. Ooh, that was sick.
That was awesome.
He like teleported up the staircase.
I'm loving the teleport movement in this run, dude. It's so cool. Like,
yeah, that's new. That's new to me. I haven't seen that.
and then
Well, Virgil's on his way to go beat up Lady. It was never a fair fight, even in Dante, but Virgil's
Virgil
on the,
much less so.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what he's got. Boom, 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 ba, 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 ba. Okay.
He's trying to very carefully temper his damage here so that he doesn't trigger her second phase. Because her second phase is the one where she jumps up on the rafters and drops bombs. Super slow.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought that Virgil could 2-phase that, but maybe I am correct.
I don't think so. Lady's resistant to Devil Trigger Explosion, and also she has a similar thing going on with the amount of hits. So it's like, you can't really just stuff her face with your foot the same way that you can some other enemies.
Makes sense.
Virgil's worst nightmare, platforming.
I mean,
There it is.
Commentator's curse. This room takes longer than some of the boss fights in the game.
Honestly, all of them,
True.
probably.
Combined.
Combined. Oh no. No, Virgil moment.
No, Virgil. How boring.
How boring. What a good thought.
True. Accurately describing the room. Although I like this room a lot with Trickster. I will say that.
It's cool with Trickster. And what a pace change. I'm like, ooh, that was
There we
sick.
go. That
What
was
a pace change. This runs like 1,000,000 miles per minute the whole time. And then he's just like waiting for these cubes just sitting there.
Yeah. Well, here I am. I guess I'm gonna have to recapture because people are saying there's delayed sound.
No, that's from my stream.
Oh, that's
Don't worry
from your
about it.
stream. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sick.
Because my audio is coming from the Discord stream.
Oh, okay.
So it's not delayed for me, but yeah, the main stream is totally fine.
All right, sick. Awesome. I was gonna say like the waveforms look like they're matching up, but I don't know. Dang. Virgil was getting messed up by his own lack of range there for a minute.
I know, the uphill
Lunar
slope
phase?
doing him dirty.
Lunar phase was like just missing. I'm like, Okay. I should have brought some fun facts about the year 2005, dude. But 2005 was a banger year for video games. Let me just say that.
I don't remember it, man. I was 5.
I was 15. So.
Damn.
Yep.
Dude, this game go way back.
Yep, just like my hairline, bro.
That's what I was gonna say. No.
Had to beat you to the punch.
Good
2005 was
Lord.
goddamn. 2005 was Guitar Hero, DMC3, Resident Evil 4, Samurai Western. What else was?
I love your taste in games because you like list all these super huge AAA games that are like monumentally famous, and you're like,
Yeah, right.
Samurai Western.
Yes, sir.
Throw that one in there.
What else was there? Need for Speed Most Wanted, Prince of Persia: The Two Thrones.
Yeah, God, what bangers! Good Lord.
Let's see here. Mario Kart DS, Shadow of the Colossus, the Oni-chan-bara,
Gears of War, and God of War 1.
Oh, God of War 1, yeah. God of War 1.
So that holy water there makes it so that the king chess piece is instantly vulnerable. Because no matter how fast Virgil kills all the other enemies, the king is the one that matters. So you use that holy water to instantly make him vulnerable.
Yep. And move on to Mission 18's Boss Rush Room, which we will see a lot of later. But in these first 2 runs, we are going to be doing only 3 of the boss fights. We're going to be just doing Cerberus, Agni Rudra, and Beowulf, since it's the smallest
Honestly,
circle we can make.
a really bad selection for Virgil, as like Beowulf and Agni Rudra are both 2 of the hardest boss fights for Virgil. Cerberus, on the other hand, is completely just destroyed. But
we're gonna get
take the dog out for a walk, put him outside.
Yeah, tell him to roll over real quick.
Yeah, good Lord.
I like this too, because he's going to be able to just get a bunch back there.
Yeah. I think we're going to see an Agni Rudra Holy Water set up. Because I think the Holy Water does damage, and then also causes them to do a scripted attack at the same time. And so that's going to let him be able to clash instantly. But he's going to do Agni Rudra last because of that.
That might actually be my favorite strat in this run, but I'm not going to say
it's really
much
cool
until it actually happens.
Ironic that Beowulf is the only boss that kicks Virgil's ass when in the cutscenes he just like
He gets
one hit kills him with a Yamato. Yeah.
Yep. And also because like Beowulf is, I believe, weak to Yamato, like because of its dark element.
Yeah. Don't matter though when your JC hitbox is small.
It's true. Apparently 2005 was the first time the term rage quit appeared.
Ain't no way.
That's kind of monumental.
Correlated with the MC3?
True. Maybe. All right, here we go.
This strat is sick. It stands between them, so that when he does the holy water, that'll bait them into swinging at each other, so they'll clash.
Ooh.
That's so cool.
Easily my favorite strat in this whole run.
Yeah, me too. That's really cool. The holy water doesn't even really save time because of the damage, but because it sets up them both being down at the same time. Of course, the damage helps though.
Oh, yeah. Also the beautiful setup there by Mo to just stand in the spot where the teleporter was and taunt. Like that was some confidence, dude. To immediately.
He's like, I know where it is. I'm locked in.
All right, so we are moving into the last couple of missions here. Again, here we only bought 4 purple orbs, which is half the amount that Dante usually buys.
Yeah, the double trigger explosions aren't really used as much. It's actually, it takes so long to charge it up that most rooms are over by the time it's charged.
Yep.
Yeah, we're about 55 minutes in here, and we're almost done with the game. This is a really solid run. We're definitely gonna see sub 1 hour real time here, I think.
I believe so, yeah.
Bo's been killing it. Did a great job.
He's been awesome.
Yeah, fun fact, he recently discovered, like last week, that there's a tutorial for this category. He already had record for it, but, you know.
Maybe I can learn something.
Yeah, he's like, whoa, waifu, I just found your tutorial. Hilarious.
I mean, that's just kind of a testament to how much you can absorb just by watching runs of the category.
Yeah, I think there isn't much like obfuscation in Virgil. Like you just kind of get what you see.
Yep.
Right. There's not like some like hidden behind the scenes tech that they're doing. It's just, it really do just be do the
Playing
inputs.
the game. Just do the inputs, forehead. All right, here we go. 5 water,
Arkham.
holy water Arkham. So he's gonna be going down soon.
Big thing with Arkham is he has these phases where he goes underneath the floor and then you can't hit him. And you have to fight these dolphins, or people like to call them slugs. You want to avoid that as much as possible, so he's gonna be doing that.
And boss down. So now we head
GG
into the
with
last
that.
fight. This is gonna be a 3-phaser, but Virgil just really destroys Vante. Gonna bait the attack and then do some good old Goomba stomps.
Yeah, 3 sets of Goomba stomps, and he's gonna be tempering the damage here so that hopefully he will skip Virgil's, Vante's, I almost call him Dante, his DT phase.
Yep.
So he wants to kill him here. If he gets away, then he's gonna DT, lose a bunch of time. No one can escape Virgil's foot though.
And time.
Ridiculous
56, 59, baby.
GG's.
Woo!
Great work, Mo. Fantastic.
Awesome
56
job.
real time. That's
That is really fucking good. Holy crap! Where does that compare to the record RTA?
that's faster than real time record RTA.
Oh
Is this
my-
record? Did you run on a timer, Mo?
No, I didn't.
You probably should have.
I feel like something happened here because, well, or maybe
Because
just
your real
something-
time in your record is a 59:40, and you got a 56:59.
I paused in my.
Oh, you
records.
paused.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's RTA record.
Yeah. GG, dude. Really good
That
run.
was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my
Good
God.
shit, man. Awesome stuff. You have anything to say before we let you go? Again, awesome job, dude. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, you did great. Good job.
There were a few things you said, but I was in the middle of a run and I forgot. So no, unfortunately, I don't have anything to say.
Well, thank you
The
again, man.
tutorial is true. Like Waifu's tutorial on Virgil is pretty good. Well, I mean, he's explaining his run, but it's still pretty funny.
It's old.
Can get a good
old,
time with that one still. But watching runs on the leaderboard is good as well. To be honest, just
Yeah.
learn from the other players and you adapt. It's fine.
Awesome.
But yeah, that was nice. That was very cool. And thank
dude.
you for having me. It was an awesome experience for me. Really nice. Shaking at the beginning, and then Cosmic forgot to defend me on Discord, and
Oh,
like the
my
commentary were actually chilled me down because
Oh,
everyone
okay.
was saying stuff. I was like, yeah, okay, it's it's just business as usual. It's fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, my bad. I forgot to deafen you, but also
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
it's
blame.
fine.
I'm
Turns
gonna
out
blame
good,
that on there
actually.
being like a deafen icon in the bottom right corner of the screen, and I also didn't want to do that, so I didn't want to show that the
Yep.
whole run. Anyway,
But yeah,
yeah,
thank you for having me, and good luck for all the other runners. Hope they have good runs as well, and everyone watching having fun as well. And yeah, catch you guys another time then.
Later, man. GG.
GG's, man. See
Take
ya.
care. Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.